Assalamualaikum and welcome back to my video presentation on problem-based learning. One of the main characteristics of PBL is that learning is initiated by presenting a problem rather than teaching the content. This is a major distinction of PBL curriculum as compared to the traditional and conventional content-based curricula. In this lesson, we are going to explore the topic of curriculum and educational models of problem-based learning. This topic could be able to expand the horizon of our knowledge and understanding of PBL as being practiced in many places around the world. Some selected models will be discussed briefly to identify the main structure of PBL, commonly understood and practiced at higher learning institutions. Glasgow 1997 observed that most curricula tend to focus on content coverage and exposing students to wide knowledge base. Unfortunately, in this era of the fourth industrial revolution, the content knowledge is always updating within a millisecond and making the traditional curricula obsolete even before students manage to step out from the classroom. The only option we have is to find better curriculum models that engage students in problem scenarios similar to authentic real-world situations. Curricular planners and designers do not have to look any further than the real world to find curricular and pedagogical models for relevant learning applications. The world is an integrated, multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary place. It is also filled with problems, projects and challenges. Beginning to create a curriculum that reflects this reality makes sense. PBL curriculum, therefore, is one of the best options we have so far. According to Howard Barrows, 1996, the curricular linchpin in PBL is the collection of problems in any given course or curriculum, with each problem designed to stimulate students' learning in areas relevant to the curriculum. This collection of problems is designed to fulfill four educational objectives. 1. Structuring of knowledge for application. 2. Developing an effective reasoning process. 3. Developing effective self-directed learning skills. And 4. Increasing motivation for learning. PBL, however, is not a one-size-fits-all methodology. It is more a philosophy and approach that emphasizes the effective use of problems through an integrated approach of active and multidisciplinary learning. Although the benefits of PBL may be apparent, the practical conversion from a traditional curriculum to a PBL curriculum can be a daunting task owing to administrative and logistic consideration as well as the lack of resources. However, with good planning, management support, resource allocation, and staff development, PBL can become a predominant mode of learning, supplemented by a range of good instructional methodologies. Medical schools have successfully adopted PBL in their curricula. PBL could be introduced into our curricula as a full-fledged curriculum or as an isolated learning approach for the selected courses or topics. According to Professor Tan Hussain, there are three levels of consideration in designing PBL curriculum. The mega level that takes into consideration the desired graduate profile, the macro level that looks at the intended learning outcomes, and the micro level that concerns with the learning design or cycle. If you are in a position to influence major changes in your institution, you may advocate a change from the mega level, which entails a total revamp of curricula in terms of course structures, assessment structures, and the design of the entire learning environment. Such implementation will require a great deal of planning, expertise, and resources for it is to be successful. Introducing changes at the macro level is more common, where certain courses or modules adopt a PBL approach. Such hybrid approaches may, in fact, be a promising way to go. At teachers' implementation level, they can begin at the micro level by using PBL in project work or in a certain topic of the subjects. With a clear idea of where PBL will be incorporated and the likely scope of PBL, we then develop a more specific PBL cycle based on specific learning outcomes, such as meet the problem, problem inquiry, generation of learning issues, discovery and peer teaching, solution presentation, and review. The scope of learning should then be practically conceptualized in terms of the PBL course structure and time frame. A key step of the PBL curriculum development process is the design of problems and course structure. In doing so, we need to decide on 1, the nature of the PBL cycle, 2, the time frame for the whole cycle, 3, the students' learning time, taking into account the time needed for the whole cycle, and 4, the type, scope, and number of problems that students will work on. To get a better understanding of PBL cycle, we should get a general overview of its main components and phases based on various models practiced all over the world. Studies and observation conducted by PBL experts and researchers around the world indicate that there are 3 main components and phases of PBL. 1 is a problem scenario design, 2, the learning cycle, and 3, the assessment and evaluation. 1. The problem scenario design phase. The role of a teacher is to design authentic problems to prepare students with a real-world learning experience. The design process involves the role of teachers in a thorough process of researching the teaching and learning program to identify the real-world problems that appropriately represent the intended learning outcomes, contents, and students' contextual learning experience. Based on the findings, the teacher then designs the problem scenario to represent the real-world problems, the course content, and the context of learning. Some essential issues that need to be addressed during this phase are the degree of relevancy of the problem in comparison with the content and the context of learning, its line of connection with the intended learning outcomes, and students' prior knowledge, learning experience, and skills. 2. The PBL learning cycle phase consists of 3 main stages: inquiry, self-directed, and reflective learning. The first stage of the PBL learning cycle is the diagnostic stage or inquiry stage. This stage consists of a variety of collaborative learning activities, including the introduction of problem scenario, brainstorming and knowledge scaffolding, facts identification, ideas generation, learning issues classification, as well as planning design for further learning. The second stage is self-directed learning. At this stage, students will explore knowledge and information from various sources, individually as well as in a group. Learning activities at this stage are intended to understand more about the problem scenario from various perspectives, to develop a new understanding of the content and the context of learning, and to improve the learning skills and mastery of essential skills. Third stage is reflective learning. This stage refers to the learner's engagement in the intellectual activities to explore their experience directed towards new understanding and appreciations. Students will involve in metacognition process, thinking about thinking, the knowledge they have of their own cognitive processes, the ability to control the thinking processes through various strategies such as organizing, monitoring, and adapting. Most institutions develop their unique learning cycle and model to adapt to their institutional learning goals and educational philosophy. Temasek Polytechnics in Singapore, for instance, implemented 7 stages PBL to help students acquire learning and master the independent study and self-reflection to improve communication, problem-solving, and teamwork skills. Republic Polytechnics Singapore introduced PBL to help students construct an extensive and flexible knowledge base to develop effective problem-solving skills, cultivate self-directed and lifelong learning skills, as well as become effective collaborators. The approach was complemented with the introduction of other learner-centered inquiry-based strategies such as cognitive apprenticeship, CA, interactive seminar, and project-based learning. One Day One Problem is a unique PBL process at Republic Polytechnic. Each day during their study period, The students will be given one problem for the learning exploration. The PBL process consists of 3 meetings where students work together to learn new knowledge and skills through the problem. During these 3 meetings, there are 7 main activities a student should be going through. University Tun Hussain Othman Malaysia, or UTHM, has been implementing PBL since 2005. PBL attracted engineering studies at UTHM due to the transformation of higher learning curriculum model from the content-based to outcome-based. The shift from content-based education to outcome-based education, or OBE, requires not only the whole process of redesigning the curriculum, but also the introduction of more student-centered learning strategies. The introduction of OBE is incomplete without the introduction of PBL and other student-centered learning strategies. In collaboration with the UNESCO Chair for Problem-Based Learning and the Aalborg University of Denmark, UTHM initiated the training program for lecturers in 2005. Since then, PBL has been one of the most important strategies across programs and faculties. Along the way, innovative PBL cycle was developed to improve students' learning skills and lecturers' facilitating skills. 5 ladders of active learning is one of the PBL models developed by PBL practitioners and researchers at UTHM between 2005 to 2014. The development of this innovative learning cycle is based on PBL cycle discussed by Linda Wee 2004 and Tan Un Seng 2003, as well as UTHM's course structure and program of studies. 5 ladders represent the whole PBL cycle. Ladder 1 consists of problem presentation and identification using a specific diagnostic process called FILA or FACT-TILA approach. Ladder 2 consists of individual self-directed learning activities. Ladder 3 consists of group self-directed learning activities. Ladder 4 consists of the presentation and sharing of the learning outcomes. And finally, Ladder 5 consists of reflective learning activities. 3. The assessment and evaluation encompass both the problem design and learning cycle phase. In the problem design process, the assessment includes the process of assessing the relevancy of the real-world problems as selected, its relation with the content and context of learning, as well as the student's previous learning experience. The assessment process of the learning cycle includes the process of assessing the student's learning, its sequential learning process, which is a formative assessment, and the outcomes of learning, which is a summative assessment. This includes the student's learning skills of using higher order thinking skills during the inquiry stage, knowledge management skills in the self-directed learning stage, and the ability to apply metacognitive skills during the reflective learning stage. The assessment and evaluation process serves the overall evaluation of the PBL framework from the experimentation and piloting process up to the full-scale implementation of PBL. This enables the PBL cycle to maintain its double-loop learning. The learning design could be improved continuously through this cycle from time to time. I hope this brief discussion could inspire us to find the best way to introduce PBL as one of a student-centered and inquiry-based learning approaches at our respective institutions. PBL is not one size fits all. Anyone can design and propose their own PBL model based on their needs and proper understanding of what PBL is. In the next video presentation, I will be sharing some details related to these 3 main phases of PBL. Till then, thank you very much for your time and kind attention to my presentation. And viewers who are new here, please subscribe to my channel so you will get more notification on my upcoming videos. And don't forget to like and share this video. If you have something to share, please leave the comment below. Thank you. Have a great day. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.